Uh, this is Damian Light here, PE570, Coach Professor Joseph Marcos, Term 1, Fall 2021. This is my presentation for Week 7, PowerPoint. Does sleep and nutrition affect student athletes and athleticism? That is the question and the topic that I have posed, and I hope to provide a thorough examination and explanation of this. So the question I'm posing here is, how do sleep and nutrition affect the student athletic performance? Well, the arguments that leadership behaviors and the habits that form an athlete's sense of attitude and motivation have been on topic. I see since this textbook that I was using from 1960, they were posing these initial questions of how the sleep and nutrition will affect an athlete. And the study, however, is designed to root out the cause of athletic performance by youth and student athletes' motivation, how rest, nutrition, and sleep, foster their ability to succeed as both athletes and scholars and academics in their schools and their performance on and off the field. My values, belief, and faith are formed through the mechanism that the mind and body coordinate to create like a human spirit, along with the devotion to the mental attitude, spiritual practices, cosmic beliefs, scientific principles, whatever the consciousness uses to mold its own desire to achieve, knowledge of the higher power. But that also comes through, active rest, exercise, nutrition. I recently lost 100 pounds on a really strong, long diet I've been on, and I'm still working to lose another 100. But I can see that my spirit is forming in a more holistic way now that I'm focused more on my rest and my nutrition and sleep. So I see that this is a very important topic. During the course of my research, I attributed several articles combining sleep studies on others doing nutrition, as well as articles on academic performance and training. And these sleep studies were meant to determine the effects of rest on athletic performance. And in these studies, researchers sought both quantifiable and qualifiable evidence using sleeping monitoring, surveys, heart and wave monitors, pacemakers, diaries, performance reviews, questionnaires. The overall impact of the specified training schedule on the performance and recovery and on the efficiency of the athletic training as a whole were also analyzed. The sleep studies, there were various subjects and various results. I conducted some research into a couple of different studies. One monitored athletes during their sleeping, and the other one monitored the athletes when they were awake and took note of how many hours they slept. Student athletes who slept for 7 to 8 hours technically performed a lot better than student athletes who only slept for 5 to 7 hours. Sleep diaries composed that 88% of athletes were below the standard of 8 hours of rest every night, but there were various fluctuations between off days and rest days compared to training days and event days, and how the students slept the night before. So this was a very interesting study. Many of the topic researchers combine their knowledge with other scholars, and it was seen that the tests and the surveys conducted involved, the diaries who consisted of students that had tight schedules, that some students had jobs, some students had family obligations. However, in most cases, athleticism took precedence along with academics over a student's personal schedule. So there was a tight knit way of monitoring the sleeping pattern and the effect that the different hours of sleep and rest had on their daily schedules. Other studies involve monitoring brain waves and how the effects of sleep would influence the player's attitude and the motivation and the overall performance of these players. There was a lot of talk on the scheduling and how the different schedules impacted the players' minds and bodies, and how it impacted their rest, the depth of their sleep, the length of their sleep. A lot of the time management schedule trainings were formed and instituted by coaches and administrators to observe the impact and the effect that rest periods and sleep could have on the motivation and the absorption of strategy of the different players. In some instances, shorter sleep times were associated with uh, pre-training fatigue or post-training fatigue, depending on the situation. The effect of nutrition on athletic performance and the philosophy that nutrition influences athletic performance also goes back for eons. Scientists and researchers are nowadays hoping to find new forms of diet regimen that will motivate better health and performance of young athletes and upcoming student athletes. Nutrition impacts issues of health, performance goals, physique characteristics, body size, shape, growth, composition, physical challenges, and has a devitation for food preferences, which you know relates to the social and cultural aspects of a team. A student can rest and exercise all they want, but they will eventually find out that nutrition and fitness can, coordinate a better mind-body experience and a better experience up on the field. Exercise routines, along with eating properly and balanced, is the best way to stay healthy. This slide talks more about how nutrition and academic studies affect athletics and student athletes. Academics plays an important part in the student athletic experience, um, but the circulation of brain waves from exercise is notable to have a great experience on a student's academic possibilities, and the other way, the reading and writing, studying more, focusing more on logic and creative principles can increase the dependability that a player has on the field. This slide now focuses more on how the impact of academics impacts athletic performance and how the disruption of uh, academic or athletic performance can be blamed on either, and each can be attributed also to nutritional factors. Is that a student maintains a balanced and healthy regimen of nutritional and exercise and rest, as well as focusing on their academic performance and having a balanced lifestyle consisting of personal life, family life, friends, cultural, social values, fraternal organizations, that kind of thing. But coaches should also teach with the healthy regimen of how to eat properly, focusing on the amount of time you spend on exercise, the amount of training that you do, the type of sport that you're playing, should also contribute to the protein, iron, vitamins, and other minerals, fluids, carbohydrates, and calories that a player needs in order to grow. Of your own mind, your own body, your own limitations, your own strengths, your own weaknesses, your own strategies, your own methods, your own implementations, your own training, your own rest periods, being aware of your own schedule, being aware of what you eat and what you put into your body, what you express and how you express yourself, the purposes of different certain things. Um, you know, there are different forms of mind and brain expansion through learning, that a student can participate in and thrive in. Other issues of cultural identity, gender equality, social issues, racism, fashion, private practices of uh, preferred companies, operating and manufacturing clothing that you wear on and off the field. All these kind of things, these cultural issues, these are all things that are great for a player to be aware of. Is the possibility that uh, athletics and athleticism is taken out of context, where uh, people are taught to win, and that is the most important aspect. But really, it should be a process of team building, strategy learning, methodology, philosophy, theory, scientific principle, mathematics, logic, creativity. All these aspects that one learns in school go into being a teammate, an athlete, and a coach. These are the resources. Great weekend.